Welcome back to Taddy's Restorations, everybody. Well, I've been on Facebook Marketplace again and stumbled across this beast, and I couldn't resist, even though it wasn't in the budget and I don't need another project. It was too good of a price to go past. It is a 1956 Chrysler New Yorker St.Regis with a 354 Hemi V8, and it's pretty super cool. It's pretty sweaty. It was imported many years ago into Australia and has been sitting for, at least from what I can work out, about 30 years, and apparently hasn't ran for over 20 years. The interior is pretty toasty. It's got a little bit of panel rust in the lower areas. But it's mostly complete. I do have another door handle on the way. Pretty common issue for those to break, apparently. A little bit of floor rust in it. Bumpers need re-chroming. Can be an expensive exercise here in Australia. Worst of the rust is probably in the bottom of that rear quarter. The colour being a St.Regis is 3-tone, so it should have a black roof. At some stage it's been painted white. And the lower pinky colour is called Desert Rose. And the interior would have been white leather. So a pretty cool colour combination. Did have a little bit of a play with it this morning. Just did some spot polishing on some of the chrome to see how it'll clean up. Hold the bonnet up because it's missing one of the bonnet hinge springs. So it's all there. If it was sitting over there, just pull that off to see what's there and whether the carby was locked up. The engine's free, it does rotate. But we'll see if we can get the beast running. I'll have to do some jerry rigging of the wiring. Looks like somebody else has already had a bit of a go at it, but it's the old cloth wiring and it's all disintegrating. So I'll just have to make a hot wire loom up to see if I can get it running. Come back soon and we'll see if it runs. Just thrown a battery in it, disconnected the main power feed to the starter motor, which isn't real happy, but it's got power running through it. Disconnected the starter wire, but unfortunately the starter motor is going to have to come out. I think she's locked up. There is no starter action. So pull the starter motor out, pull it apart, give it a clean up, see if we can resurrect it. So I've got it precariously jacked up here. There should be enough room under there for me to crawl under there and pull the starter motor out. I did pull the transmission dipstick out. Transmission oil is down here. Looks pretty good. Nice and pink still, plenty in there. The coil had already been pulled out. We'll have to put some new ends on the wires, clean the points up. But unfortunately the engine oil dipstick is missing. It should be down over the back here in that little hole. So I'll have to find something to see whether it's got any oil in it. So there's the starter motor. I'm going to need 2 hands to get this out, so bear with me and I'll whip this out and we'll see if we can get it operational. There it is, the starter motor's out. take it into the shed and see if I can get it operational. I thought I'd just have a quick play with it before I took it into the shed. And the armature does turn. But doesn't seem to want to turn when the solenoid's engaged. Which was working a minute ago. Anyway, I think the issue's in the solenoid. I'll pull it apart, clean it out and see what happens. So just play with it a little bit more. Oh, come off again. Get that to stay on there somewhere. Maybe on here. So armature turns. And it was turning a bit slow. But I think it'll be okay. I think it'll work. A few minutes later, about half an hour, got the starter motor back in. So it does turn over. It's probably a little bit slow though. I might hook the jumper leads up with the other car. I don't know how charged this battery is, so, but it does turn over. Just. I did check the engine oil. It does have engine oil in it. Just stuck a metal stick down there. It smells very fuely. I did pop the distributor cap off, clean the points up. It has a dual point distributor in it. I jerry rigged the coil and installed that temporarily, just with a jumper wire to the battery. So I might hook the jumper leads up with the other car and see if I can get it spinning over a bit faster. So it's the next day. I've charged up the battery. I did get it running yesterday, but my phone went flat. Had a bit more of a play around with it today. And she's away. Obviously it still needs a little bit of fine tuning. It starts up and runs. I think the fuel pump's a little bit sad. I have got it hooked up. It is sort of trying to fill up the fuel bowl there. But I reckon I've pulled carby off and put a kit through it. But it's alive and it sounds healthy. That's the main thing. Well, I think that's where we'll leave it for today. I'm going to have to order some parts. Fuel pump diaphragm kit, carburetor rebuild kit, and probably play around with the wiring and make it a little bit more semi-permanent so it can be started and run. Really like to get it to be drivable so I can move it around the yard. But I did notice it's blowing a lot of transmission fluid out of the dipstick. Whether that's over full, I'm not quite sure. I have one last look around it, and I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but it does have a broken windscreen. It's a bit of a bummer. It's going to be a pretty expensive exercise to get one out of America. As you can see, it is pretty solid, but it does have usual rust that you expect for a car this age. So you can see that it is showing 56,000 miles. Whether that's original, who knows. Roof lining is actually in good condition. It's just the stitching that's come apart. I'm not sure whether it'll be able to be restitched or just pull it down and get a new one made for it. Obviously the interior is going to need retrimming. It's a bit of a shame that all this sort of chrome work has got surface rust on it. It'll be interesting to see how well it all polishes up. But it's got some service stickers there. Can't really read them. That one says Silver Creek Shopping Centre, Silverton, and I can't quite make out the other words there. And there's some on the door frame. So that one's California, and that one's California. I can't quite make out that one. But I did find a receipt in the glove box as well that said Oregon. So the car obviously got around a little bit. If anybody knows of parts cars or old school wrecking yards that have these sorts of things, I've also found that the air filter assembly is the wrong one for the carburetor that's on it. It has the 4-barrel carburetor, and the air filter base is to suit a 2-barrel, I believe. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this open or not. Oh, there it goes. Still got the original carpet in the boot. Jack, no spare. Worst of the rust is down here behind the boot lip there. Pretty easy repair to do. That's the only real holy sort of stuff. It is a bit thin in the floor under here. You can probably see. But we'll have to pull the fuel tank out as well and clean that out. So it's going to be a bit more of a mission to resurrect it just yet. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to click like, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think about it. And we'll be back some stage with more updates on this beast.